So next up, we have Ben Kazez from Mobiata, and Ben is a recent introduction to Ann Arbor. I think you've only been here for about a month. That's right, but I'll let you go and start.
All right, thanks, Doug. So my name is Ben Kazez. I'm founder and CEO of Mobiata, which is a company very new to Ann Arbor and new as of December of last year. We develop mobile travel applications, and we focused on the iPhone initially, but have lots of big plans for the future. So the big deal for us is that travel is very complicated. And if I had to ask everyone, how many people have had a delayed flight in, let's say, the past year? It's staggering numbers of people. And so when people travel, they're dealing with huge amounts of data and that gets thrown at them, whether it's hotel choices or flight choices in the booking phase, whether it's decisions of where to go, whether it's downtime during a trip, whether it's looking at itinerary information that you've already prepared and need to figure out where you need to be at a certain point. So there's a ton of data, and lots of it is subject to change. And so I think travel is one of the few places where you can pay for a several $100 airline ticket, and then the flight ends up being canceled. And so all this data and all these complications present lots of real-time challenges for travelers. And up until now, it's been very difficult for travelers to handle this in real time. We've seen some very early mobile solutions involving text messages for alerts and those sorts of things. But until the introduction of smartphones and especially the iPhone, it's been very difficult for people to get information in real time as they're traveling and then to act on it. And so that's where we come in. Our first application, which we launched just at the end of last year, is Flight Track. And Flight Track gives you live flight status updates on flights from around the world. So before you take a trip, you can add in your flights. You can search for flights that you're considering taking. You can save a list of flights to track, and then when it comes time for the trip, you can actually see where your plane is going to be going, the actual route that it'll be taking, and then check out the weather radar to help you better predict delays or cancellations or any irregularities that might occur. So the press has loved Flight Track. We've been written up in the New York Times for a variety of places, and Apple has been very enthusiastic as well. They're featuring Flight Track fairly regularly in their full-page ads in the New York Times, USA Today, which we of course love. And so that's been doing well. In January, we released Flight Track Pro, which integrates with the online trip planning service TripIt. Some of you may be familiar with it. It's very cool. You can, when you book a flight or a car rental, whatever, online, you usually get an email confirmation. You can forward that email confirmation to a special email address, and TripIt will turn it into a neatly organized itinerary. Where we come in there is, it's not that much fun to manually type in your flights. Wouldn't it be great if the iPhone could figure out where you're flying? And so the way this works is you book your flight through an airline, through an online travel agency, wherever. You get your confirmation email and forward it to TripIt, and then your iPhone automatically synchronizes the flights. And so it's really a fantastic way of traveling. I mean, I took a trip to San Francisco a couple months ago, and I actually never pulled out my iPhone. I just got to the airport. I had my itinerary in TripIt, and all my flights were instantly synchronized. And so that enables me to get gate information, baggage claim, up-to-date notifications of flight delays, cancellations, and just a host of information that's very useful to people as they're traveling. Our second application is HotelPal, which just launched at the end of July. So it's very new, just about a month. HotelPal solves the problem of enabling people to find and book hotels while they're on the go. And so this really opens the door to a lot of new travel possibilities. Up until now, people go on their computers, they look through a huge list of hotels on these fairly complicated online travel agency websites. A lot of clutter, a lot of details that aren't that necessary on a mobile device, and I would argue aren't that necessary on a computer in addition. And so there's been no really easy way of finding hotels, whether they're nearby you or in the next destination, and then booking them. So now with HotelPal, you don't actually have to plan ahead. You can, say you're taking a road trip, you can just drive and look at the hotels nearby. HotelPal queries Travelocity for real-time rate and availability information, which means that you're always looking at the hotels that are actually available. And then from there, you can actually book the hotel right in the application using our secure booking interface. And we've seen some very encouraging initial booking statistics with HotelPal. We've actually found 32% of bookings in HotelPal are from repeat customers. And that's only within a month's time. People don't travel that much. So that's pretty incredible. And the numbers of bookings per day are growing a lot, and we're getting some interest from online travel agencies who don't have applications like this in licensing, partnering, working with us to help their travel offerings. So the question might be, what's next? And in terms of apps that we're working on, and the next app is called TravelPro. And today's the first day we're announcing this. TravelPro is intended to be a holistic way of managing itineraries as you're traveling. So FlightTrack is fantastic for getting details on flights in particular. But when we take trips, we tend to take a variety of transportation methods. We stay at hotels, we find rental cars, we plan activities, and TravelPro is the way of managing all that as you travel. And there are a couple of apps out there on the App Store now. People are trying to tackle this problem, and we're doing it a little bit differently in a couple of ways. For one thing, we're making it possible to edit the itinerary while you're on the go. And plans do change, and it's on any trip of any complexity. It is entirely possible for a flight to be canceled. You need a new flight. It's entirely possible for someone to offer you a place to stay as opposed to having to take a hotel. You want to maybe take notes, add expense information about your trip, and so we're making it possible for everyone to edit their trips while they're on the go, and using an interface that makes it easy enough that you can actually do that, as opposed to a lot of competition. So we're synchronizing with TripIt in TravelPro, and so that means that, again, you don't have to type in any of the travel information manually. You can simply forward confirmation emails from hotels and car rentals and such to TripIt, and then your itineraries will be neatly formatted and synchronized to TravelPro. In terms of helping people organize their information as they travel, we think that people when they travel need to focus on usually the particular thing that they're doing next. And so, our paper itineraries actually aren't that effective because we tend to write a big list of things that we're doing and places we need to be, and it ends up getting very complicated. You look at where you're supposed to be, you have to hunt around a lot. And so what we've done with TravelPro is created this concept of trip cards. And trip cards organize your travel into little segments that you can digest very easily and that are very visual. So there's a trip card for your flight with the up-to-date gates, departure and arrival information. There's a trip card for your rental car pickup. There's a trip card for your rental car drop-off. And each trip card gives you just what you need to know about a particular point or transport in your trip. The trip cards you can actually flip. When you flip them, using a nice little animated transition on the iPhone, it's possible to get more information about it, a particular item in the trip, seat assignments, all sorts of details that we save. And each trip card gives you a little footer that shows what's coming next in your trip. So you can be very focused on, okay, I need to take this flight now, and the gate is G6. And then afterwards, I need to get this connecting flight, and the up-to-date arrival time, departure time is 10:40. So that's what's coming next in terms of applications that we're developing. We also do partnerships with major travel companies, and here, there are a lot of there are lots of big travel companies, but they tend to be web focused, And we're seeing a pattern very similar to what happened in the mid-early 90s. Places like Expedia and Travelocity came along and were able to steal lots of market share from the traditional travel agency companies. And the same picture is happening bit by bit on mobile. And so what we offer to these travel companies is the ability to work with us, and we develop custom applications. We also view FlightTrack and HotelPal as assets that we can sort of recombine and license work to the needs of travel companies and hotel chains, airlines, all these industries that are really focused more on website or just actual. I mean, airlines don't actually know that much about mobile, and or maybe should they, but we do, and so that's where we come in. We've got one partnership that's happening right now. It's an app for farecompare.com. It's an airfare comparison website, and we're very excited about working on that. That's in the design phase. We've got a couple more partnerships in the pipeline, and many more to come. So that's our applications that we do as our Mobiata apps, and then partnership applications with these major travel companies. So I'd like to take any questions you might have. Go ahead.
Who does your icon design?
So FlightTrack's icon, I designed myself. With HotelPal, I decided to give Icon Factory a try, and I think they did a very nice job with that. Go ahead.
Yeah, is the iPhone your only platform? And then also, you mentioned things like Travelocity and TripIt. Do you have licensing or some sort of agreement with them, or did you just pick two services that you wanted to piggyback on and went from there?
What did I pick two services are?
That you wanted to just piggyback on? You know, because there's a lot of different ones. And so when you were starting your program, did you just pick one that you wanted to interface with and then go from there, or did you create like a deal with them?
I see, yeah. So iPhone is our only platform right now. We're definitely looking into other mobile platforms. Obviously BlackBerry, Android, Palm 3 is starting to look interesting as well. So we're definitely looking at expanding in that regard. In terms of the partnerships that we have, it's sort of varied. Travelocity is our booking partner. We work with the Travelocity Partner Network. We have other providers, flight stats for our flight data information, flight view for our flight maps, and provider companies that we sign deals with. Is that a fair question?
Yeah, are you trying to exclusivity deals with them, or? Like,
we don't have exclusive deals with them right now. All right, I'll be happy to take questions afterwards. All right, thank you very much.